Greetings all! Today, we will be examining the uncommon ground-type Pokemon Silicobra and its relatively rare evolution Sandaconda, the two collectively known as the Sand Snake Pokémon. Though they might not look like the biggest threats one can encounter, the members of the Silicobra family are still unique desert dwellers that can make life difficult for those that can't stand up to the harsh sandstorms they can bring with them.
Silicobra have long, light brown serpentine bodies with darker patches of brown scales patterned over their form and high hoods, and fairly large nostrils, their bright green eyes standing out from the rest of their muted form. Their neck and the back of their head have a dark brown hood with black stripe marks that is used to hold sand for them to use for both offense and defense. Their evolved form, Sandaconda, have a similar color scheme, but with a more distinct black and tan patterned color scheme along their forms, with brownish green colors covering the front of their form. Their large, twin-barreled nose and red under-eye markings stand out strongly from their form, and most of their body is bunched up into a series of coils that compact this form and make them look shorter than they really are. Lastly, they have access to a Gigantamax form, in which their entire body grows massive, and they stand on the tip of their tail upwards with the head exposed, their coiled form making them look like a giant tornado of snake coils, constantly surrounded by a rotating vortex of sand.
The members of the Silicobra family are unique among snake Pokemon in that they live exclusively within desert environments and have adapted to a lifestyle that makes the most of their habitats in order to both capture prey and avoid becoming prey themselves.
These creatures possess a thick pouch on their bodies, shaped like a hood as one would see in a cobra at a young age, that they use to store vast quantities of sand in. This is used primarily to disguise their burrows by eliminating any piles of sand that might otherwise be left behind from them burrowing, the sand getting stored in the pouch instead. This helps them to avoid detection readily, but at the same time, it provides them a tool with which they can attack others with. The respiratory systems of these creatures, similar to that of the members of the Hippopotas family, are designed to allow these creatures to blast the sand in their bodies out of their barrel-like nostrils as a projectile attack, sand blasting anything that they see to either be a threat or prey, using the sand to blind their attackers for a quick escape or to blind them to make them easier to wrap around and then constrict to death, respectively. Either way, these creatures can prove to be resourceful fighters in any battle context, and given that in some cases, as highlighted in their signature Sand Spit base ability, the slightest bit of direct damage can make them spew out their entire sand stash violently enough to whip up sandstorms, it can be said that tackling these physically defensive Pokemon is not always an easy or safe feat.
This equally ties in with their other possible abilities, as these creatures can also have shed skin as a base ability and, if they're able to effectively hide themselves in sand more than normal, Sand Veil as a hidden ability.
In terms of stats, in the case of Sandaconda, these creatures are not the best at fighting on their own and lack a lot of the power that other ground-type Pokemon have, but they at least have sturdy bodies to work with and can move a bit faster than many other ground types, so the base defense and speed stats are above average for fully evolved ground-type Pokemon, helping to give them at least some minor advantage against their earthly brethren in practice. At a young age, Silicobra do not have much to work with offensively, relying on their coiled bodies in sand to distract others before trying to wrap around them and using their strong body muscles to constrict around smaller prey items in order to strangle the life out of them in short order. Even so, these creatures are mainly defensive in nature and usually only use sand as a deterrent against attack, spraying it in the face of attackers, allowing them to quickly burrow into the ground and hide until whatever was attacking them goes away.
As they grow and mature, they will develop a tough hide of scales on their form that will allow them to more directly attack others with forceful moves like Brutal Swing and Headbutt, as well as staple moves for the family like Bulldoze and Dig.
They can even get access to a glare technique, which can make for a deadly combination when put together with their sand attack technique and render these small reptiles incredibly hard to hit. Even if all else fails, they can still put up quite a fight and can store up to 17 pounds of sand in their pouch, so they can use their sand for quite a while before they run out, and thus can prove to be more than a bit of a nuisance to tackle, even if they might not have the strongest of offenses to bear. When Silicobra evolve into Sandaconda, their bodies take on an unusual shape as the front half of their forms coil up into a series of rings stacked together. While this might seem to be a hindrance to their movement, this is actually an efficient way for them to shape their forms to make the most of their natural powers, as this coiling allows them to squeeze their sand pouch like an accordion, making it much easier for them to spray sand out of their noses and therefore use it as a weapon and tactical tool. It also allows them to coil their elastic bodies more effectively to deliver direct physical attacks on the surface of the earth, which helps to explain why they can get access to the Skull Bash attack with a bit of artificial help. These creatures can store and spray over 220 pounds of sand from their bodies by contracting it, usually enough to completely bury opponents and whip up sandstorms in an instant. This makes it a cinch for them to take any buried prey and wrap around them tightly to constrict them to death, and they have enough physical strength to prove to be a serious threat to anything that lacks the strong physical defenses needed to resist their constriction. However, it is noted that if these creatures end up completely depleting their sand reserves, they can become extremely disheartened and will not be able to lift their spirits back up until they have restored their reserves to respectable and workable levels again. Lastly, it is noted that Sandaconda is one of only a select number of Pokemon capable of undergoing the process of Gigantamaxing, with specific members of the species taking on a unique form when they are Dynamaxed in battle. In this form, the sand pouch of these beasts grows immensely in size, with over 1,000,000 tons of sand now swirling around their body. Furthermore, it swirls around them with such speed and power that it could easily abrade away and effectively pulverize a skyscraper with little trouble. While this might only be a temporary state for them, the immense power that flows through them while in this state allows Sandaconda to utilize a unique G-Max move known as G-Max Sand Blast, which takes the standard max Quake attack and includes the generation of a sand tomb when the attack connects, allowing these monsters as a whole to use their Dynamax power to the fullest to keep the opposition hurting over the course of a long battle.
While they might not be able to make as big of an impact in battle as some might like, the members of the Silicobra family are nonetheless unique creatures that can more than make the sands their home and surprise unwitting trespassers when they enter into their territory. You might have to get used to sand being everywhere if you decide to raise one as a partner, but these serpentine critters can still make themselves useful fighters if one can make the most of their sandstorm generating abilities.
Just do yourself a favor and try not to get in their face if they put you in a bad mood. They might not be as keen on biting others as other snakes are, but that might be the least of your worries if you end up having to go see a medical professional after inhaling a load of sand when you get sand blasted in the face.
Thank you all for watching this video. It is always a pleasure to help teach others about the world of Pokemon and the many facets of it that exist in both the world we call home and the world they call home. If you'd like, please leave a comment and subscribe and ring the bell to this channel to get regular updates on content and anything else that might be going on. You can find me and my written work on DeviantArt under the name Utitus and be informed of information and content uploads on my Twitter page and my Patreon page. Donations are always welcome. Always remember, the world of Pokemon is a vast and varied place, and there's no telling what secrets might be hiding just around the corner. So keep watch, stay vigilant, and always prepare for the unexpected. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.